Alright, this is a continuation of Chapter 5-1, dealing with degrees and measure of angles. Something you need to make sure you understand is basically how to find what's known as the reference angle. Okay, you'll be asked to find the reference angle for a certain number of degrees. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, you're probably going to want to pause the video and copy these sets of examples. Okay, first one is dealing with if your reference angle is in quadrant 1. Second, if your reference angle is in quadrant 2. And of course, then we have quadrant 3. And finally, quadrant 4. So these are pictures right here of if you had the reference angle right in here. I'll shade it in. This is where the reference angle is in quadrant 1. This right here is the reference angle. Quadrant 2. This right here is the reference angle for quadrant 3. And finally, this area right in here would be the reference angle for quadrant 4. And you'll notice these are the rules right here, A, B, C, D, dealing with 1, 2, 3, and 4, you'll notice. So you might want to just take your time, pause me for a bit, get those copied down, and then we'll do an example problem. Okay? Let's think about where we're going to go. Let me move this down real quick. We have a problem, and it says on number 9, if each angle is in standard position, okay, so standard position starting where the initial side's right here, determine a coterminal angle that is between 0 and 360, and state the quadrant in which the terminal side lies. Okay? So we're going to do a couple of things with this. It didn't ask us to find the reference angle, but we're just going to find it anyways, just as an example. So let's think about this. If we have 472 degrees, like how many times are we going to rotate around? Okay, so let's say here, from here to here, that was not a very good job. We'll try this again. Get right here in the center, at the origin. So if we started turning counterclockwise from here to right here, we've gone 90 degrees, right? Add another 90, we're at 180. 270. All the way around here we are at 360. But then, how much more do we have to go after we've gone 360 degrees? Well, if you take away 360 from that, it looks like we have to go an additional 112 degrees. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to estimate this. We're going to go an additional 90, alright, and then we're going to add just a little bit more. Alright, so right about in there. Okay, so I'm going to estimate from here to there is about 112 degrees. Now, for this particular problem, it says determine a coterminal angle that's between 0 and 360. Well, I would agree that 112 degrees is definitely between 0 and 360. So if you started here and finished there, that would be a coterminal angle. That would be between that. Okay? Well, what would the reference angle be for this particular one? So let's scroll up here. We're in quadrant 2, right? So quadrant 2, this is the picture we're dealing with. Looks like the reference angle is going to be right here. The reference angle is always, always, always in relationship to your x-axis. So this part right here is where your reference angle would be. Now I know number 9 didn't ask you for this, but our reference angle is going to be right in here. So I'm going to write this down. Reference angle. Okay. Now if we wanted to find the reference angle, alright, well, basically, it's supplementary to this 112 degrees, all right? So if you wanted to, you could just simply take 112 degrees away from 180, all right? So we can just do 180 degrees minus 112, and it looks like it's going to be 68 degrees. All right. We'll borrow. There we go. 10 minus 2, 7 minus 1, so 68 degrees. So If it asked you for the reference angle in this particular case, you would say your reference, that's a horrible N. Alright, my reference angle would equal 68 degrees. Okay, so just remember, number 10, if you're doing number 10, would be the exact same process, except what I would do is instead of rotating counterclockwise, I would rotate clockwise, because that would be in the negative direction. Okay, so you can go and try that one on your own, and we'll do another problem here in just a second. Alright, here we go. Here, problem number 11. You are actually going to need to find the measure of the reference angle. Okay, so the first thing we need to figure out is where our terminal side is going to be. Once again, this right here is referred to as the initial side. Alright, and where we finish will be our terminal side. Alright, so let's think about where we are. We're at 227 degrees. So let's see here. Start right here. We're going to start rotating clockwise. We're going to go to 90. Sweet. Another 90 gets us to 180. If we go over here, that's 270. We've gone too far. Okay, so we need to back up here. Like, how many more degrees would we go? Okay, if we took away 180 degrees, because just remember, from here to right there is 180. So how much more do we have to go to get right there? Okay, so that would be 7. Gonna borrow. Looks like we've got 47 degrees. So right in here, this angle right in there is going to be our reference angle. All right. So once you find the terminal side, all right, and once again, this is our initial side. This side right in here would be our terminal side. Then you find where you are located in relationship to the x-axis. So this angle right in here is your reference angle. Okay? So it looks like we finished up in quadrant 3. And so all you have to do is basically take 180 degrees away from 227. That gives you your reference angle. All right. So you should be able to do number 12. Also, if you look at number 13 right here, looks like Shayla's planning to sail from Santa Barbara Island to Santa Catalina Island. And so basically in this problem, you are going to be changing things from degrees, minutes, and seconds to the nearest thousandth. All right, and then on the other one, you're going to be changing everything that's rounded the nearest thousandth. You're going to be changing these right here to degrees, minutes, and seconds. And so if you had problems with this one, just go back to the previous video, and I covered how to convert degrees, minutes, and seconds to a number that's in decimal form rounded to the nearest thousandth. And I've also talked about how to convert a degree rounded to the nearest thousandth back to degrees, minutes, and seconds. All right. I think that covers everything right now. Hope you're able to finish the assignment, and we'll talk to you soon.